Hello, this is Tony Heller from realclimatescience.com, setting the record straight about the United Nations. The New York Times ran this article on November 25, 1969. A sterility drug in food is hinted. Biologist stresses need to curb population growth. A possibility that the government might have to put sterility drugs in reservoirs and in food shipped to foreign countries to limit human multiplication was envisioned today by a leading crusader on the population problem. The crusader, Dr. Paul Ehrlich of Stanford University, among a number of commentators who called attention to the population crisis as the United States Commission for UNESCO opened its 13th National Conference here today. UNESCO is the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization. So 50 years ago, the United Nations, the New York Times, and academia were openly discussing the possibility of poisoning people's food and water. They quite openly said that the government might have to poison people. And here's a story from the Los Angeles Times from 1967. It's already too late for the world to avoid a long period of famine, a Stanford University biologist said Thursday. Paul Ehrlich said the time of famines is upon us and will be at its worst and most disastrous by 1975. He said the population of the United States is already too big, that birth control may have to be accomplished by making it involuntary and by putting sterilizing agents into staple foods and drinking water. So in the previous New York Times article, they were discussing having the government poison the food and water supply of foreign countries. But in this article, they're talking about doing it to the United States as well. Now let's fast forward to November 1991 in the UNESCO Courier. Once again, UNESCO is the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization. They quoted Jacques Cousteau saying, "World population must be stabilized, and to do that we must eliminate 350,000 people every day." And right above that they said, "What should we do to eliminate suffering and disease? It's a wonderful idea, but perhaps not altogether a beneficial one in the long run. If we try to implement it, we may jeopardize the future of our species." Now let's fast forward to November 2019, which is 50 years after the New York Times article calling for poisoning the food and water supply. There needs to be far fewer humans on the planet. We declare, with more than 11,000 scientist signatories from around the world, clearly and unequivocally that planet Earth is facing a climate emergency. So once again we see the same collaboration of the press, academia, and the United Nations pushing for far fewer people on the planet. My philosophy is that it's very important to listen to what people are saying and take them seriously. I'm an historian and I'm also a Jew. From looking through newspapers from the 1930s, I'm very aware of the fact that the German National Socialist Party was very open about their plans to eliminate Jews from Germany. But the vast majority of Jews and everybody else chose to ignore what the German National Socialist Party was saying. It was too painful for people to think about or too inconvenient, so they ignored it, and as a result, millions of Jews died at the hands of the German National Socialists. Now let's consider the current situation. These people are quite serious about reducing the Earth's population, and it would be a very good idea to pay attention to what they're saying. Those who fail to learn the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. Visit Toto on the web at realclimatescience.com. He's been pulling back the curtain on junk science and propaganda for a long time.